Jack. Oh, yeah, you get the shadows of your face.
Oh, who
it's the opposite of when you put the flashlight under your chin to scare kids. You get the big shadows all over your face. It's not that bad, but we've got some new lights in here. Nice work, Jack.
I think you look great. I think you should relax, and you should have done worried about that prior to the show start.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said, "Oh no, Rhett," because normally we would have this taken care of. Did you see Jack scrambling? He did one of those all four runs.
Like he's quick on his feet. That guy.
There are people that do that and try to get world records and such. There are people I don't know what it's called, but 4-leg running sort of thing. Like just they'll go 100 meters and try to get in the Guinness book. They'll practice, train for it. It's their life.
Hey, there's lots of things out there you can do to make a name for yourself.
What are you going to do?
There's going to be an enhanced games, anti-Olympics games, where
oh yeah, it's dope as much as you want.
Do as much dope as you need. Have at her.
I think that's going to be a great idea for the first 20 years, but then it's just going to be really tough because all you're going to be doing is going to funerals of guys.
Medically monitored. Oh,
okay. Yeah.
Medically monitored.
Right. Because that's not why we did this in the first place. That steroids are good for you. Yeah. Well, let's get to it. Last night, the Flames, I thought, had a lot of things look good for them and showed a lot of things last night in Colorado, especially through 40 minutes. And then I have justified as a massive talent deficit kicked in. Mm-hmm. McKinnon made an all-world play. Makar made an all-world play. And they got a bounce off a shin pad right to Ross Colton. And it just felt like once the Avs started rolling, it was their 2 points, and the Flames wouldn't really have a lot to say about it. I don't want to take the Flames off the hook for any mistakes, but I think that effort wins most nights in the NHL. It's just not going to do it against the Avs because they're the
It might not do it against a few teams with high-end talent. Sure. The Avs are exceptional, and that is a good Flames game, and that is exactly the issue.
Totally.
And you can look at it half full or half empty, that cup. Are we happy? Because
we're happy. Yeah. I know fans were steaming last night in Afterburner because it looked like you had 2 points, but I think it underlines what we've been saying for a while, which is you've got an opportunity to get younger and add the types of players the championship teams have. You don't just go add number one centers and franchise pillars. You have to draft them 9 times out of 10, and you have to draft them very high. And last night was a great illustration of that. Mikko Rantanen, very high pick. Cale Makar, top 4 pick. Nathan McKinnon, number 1 pick. Even some of the guys they've grabbed elsewhere. Nichushkin was a guy that was taken in the top.
I was thinking about
Duran was a top 3 pick. Like those are the kinds of guys you need to be a championship caliber team.
Their third defenseman would be our best.
Who would their third be? Bowen Byram?
Yeah.
Or
Bowen Byram.
Josh Manson? I mean, I said last night, I think the best Flames player, whoever you may think it is, because I don't think there's a clear-cut star on this team, is probably the 5th, 6th, or 7th best Avalanche. Because they've got nobody in the neighborhood of McKinnon, Rantanen, never mind Makar, never mind Nichushkin. Landeskog's freaking hurt. He would be, if he was healthy, a guy that would be way up there. We haven't talked about Byram. Devin Taves would probably be right there for Flames' best defenseman. Like, it's just, you tip your cap. They're a better team. They have better talent, and the Flames did a great job to be leading through 40.
They played hard and had I'm happy with the results, to be honest with you. I may have full because you competed. You showed you can compete. You showed you care. You showed you can play hard. You showed you're not dog shirt.
Yeah.
But you're also not.
0 points. You worked hard. Kids look good.
And again, abundantly clear because you get on a power play in the third period to able to put the game away and you can't. That's what you are. Yep. That's what you are.
We are so on the same page about this game. I thought that power play was massive in the third, and against most teams in the NHL, it's not. A 2-goal lead is fine. But against the Avalanche, you needed one more.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think you see the 3-goal rally if you get up by 3. You might just see it's not our night. Who do we got next? But instead, it's like, okay, now they get a bounce to Colton, and this game is not even close to over. Before it was tied, it felt like overtime. When it got tied, it felt like the Avs had won. because you just knew they
And
weren't dead yet.
did it not just feel like there was a point where the Avs just said, okay, let's turn it up and see
Yeah.
what happens now? And there was no stop. Like
It's one of those things championship caliber teams can do. You can have them for a long time, but as soon as the stars get going, which superstar for the Calgary Flames was going to make the ankle-breaking move Makar made? Which superstar was going to get a breakaway and score? Which superstar, was going to go to the front of the net at 6'4", 220 and tip a puck? Like they don't have these guys. They don't.
They don't have them. They don't have them, and they are what they are. And I loved the effort. The effort was fine. I'm happy Kadri's playing well. It was good to see Mangiapane get on the board.
Yep. I like the new lines that are sort of the old lines in a way. If you missed it, we saw the line we really liked at the beginning of last season. Kadri with Dubé and Mangiapane reunited. That's great news for Dubé, is he's out of the fourth line purgatory, at least for a game.
Till he gets back.
And I think we had talked about it, like, geez, the way Zari's going, or Zary, whatever we're calling him, like maybe put him next to Lindholm and see what happens. And I thought they were good with Sharangovich, who scored again.
I think Zari's your best player.
Someone was saying it in the comments. We said it last night. Like, if you want to talk
offensively,
about,
who's a better threat?
There isn't. Now, Zari's going to make mistakes defensively, and that's what happens when you're a rookie playing in the best league in the world.
What happens when you're an offensive star that's been in the league for a long time? Those guys, you get away with making mistakes in your own end.
Draisaitl, awful defensive player, but nobody cares because he's going to put up 130 points. And, when he wants to in the playoffs, he cranks up the defensive side, and this year's defensive metrics are better than anything else in his career, but it's still like, you're not out there defending with him. It's like, go to the other end, score. Zary is without question their most gifted offensive player. He's their most creative player. He's the one guy that can make something out of nothing in this forward group. Other guys can make solid, smart plays, but if they're defended properly, they can't beat a guy one-on-one. Zary, we've seen walk defensemen a few times. There's no one else that does that.
Yeah, the rest of them have to grind away, make solid plays, and play a certain style, and that's fine. But when you run up against it and you want to be an elite team, you have to have difference makers, and we don't have enough of them.
So what 15 seconds in, by the way, here in Canada, I don't know what you had for the US broadcast, and I know it's ESPN Plus for streaming stuff, and you probably would have the Altitude Network or whatever the Avs are doing, but here in Canada, there was a double header. So it was Leafs Islanders. The Leafs tie it with less than 10 seconds left to go to overtime. Isles score in overtime. And it's like, sweet, we still have time to get to Denver. Don't worry. They jump over. And now we go to the Avalanche and the Flames. It's only 30 seconds in. Flames are already on the penalty kill. And they're talking about Tanev not being there. And you're like, oh, shit. The thing that we were worried about for probably since last June happened, Rhett. Chris Tanev took a hit that may for months.
And it just looks like every hit that could be the end of him. I don't think he's done. It doesn't. I mean, you never know with stuff like that, and with the history of injuries, maybe it's shoulder, this and that. It looked like a head issue to me, which is not making light of anything. But
that's a theoretically shorter timeline than if it's a massive shoulder issue, which you did have 2 years ago against Dallas.
If it's shoulder rehab and the surgery, then you're done, right? But I feel like it was a knock on the head. I could be wrong, but and that's where you want to maximize assets for sure you do, but you also don't want to have assets go by the wayside and not be able to use them at all. And that's with Tanev.
Yeah, we talked about the deadline's the best time to get value for guys, but if there was one exception on this Flames team to the rule, it would be the most injury-prone guy that they have on the team, which is Tanev, because we've seen him get lost to injury for large swaths. And how much risk are you willing to inherit? You think Chris Tanev's going to stay healthy all the way to March? It's a lot of games where the way he plays, he's likely to get hurt. And it's one of those funny things. You'd almost, if you knew this team was going to miss and they were going to trade him at the deadline, you're like, okay, can he get hurt in October and like come back nice and fresh in Feb? Like it's weird to talk about a player that way, but it's not if he's going to get hurt, it's when.
It does feel that way. And well, clearly it was last night. It was the when. So
yeah.
And you hope it's nothing serious, and you don't hope it's not a bad head thing. It looked, like I said, I believe it looked that way. It could be completely wrong, but I don't know what it just seems so obvious. It's like one of those ones where why didn't you trade Giordano?
Yeah, that one's
right. Like
most
it feels like that sort of thing where if he's done, you're gonna go, well, what was your objective here? Now, I don't even know Tanev's. He might have a no move clause for all I know. I don't even know that, but
I think he's got an 8 or a 10 or a 12 team list, but it's not
right. But like you would have hoped that if you could move, I know you moved Zadorov because he asked for it.
Yeah.
But if we're still wondering what the approach is, as far as what are the marching orders for Conroy?
Yeah.
Like, is that why you didn't trade him, or are you trying to wait it out? Are you trying to get more value for him? I don't know. I just don't agree with it. I would have certainly somebody you feel like would have taken him.
Well, we heard there was conversations with Toronto involving him and Zadorov. That was a package deal, but it required a lot of salary retention for the Flames, and it would have taken 2 salary retention slots, which meant you'd probably have to try to do a Lindholm and or Hanifin move without the ability to do that. Never mind if you want to do a Markstrom one. I get that. It's always going to be tough to make moves because we're in a flat cap era. Once we get the extra $3.5-4 million in the system next year, that'll help. And then another $3.5-4 million the year after that. It's 5% growth for the foreseeable future on the cap. That's going to help. But it's not even about retention or salaries. It's just, if you got close to what you think he's worth in November, you had to take that deal just because of all the risk of injury. Now, maybe there wasn't a good offer. The one thing we don't know when we're comparing keeping Tanev versus trading Tanev is we don't know what the deal is. We don't get to read Connie's cell phone and see what the offers are. I'm like, oh shit, you could add a second. Oh, add a prospect. Or it's like, no. It's like 2/3. We're not, come on. Talk to me in a month. That's a garbage offer. We don't know what that is. So it's tough to say Conroy did well, Conroy did poorly. We don't know the extent of the injury, but we don't know what the deals are out there. It doesn't sound like it's easy to make deals right now. Unless you're Patrick Allvin in Vancouver, I think has made 5 of the last 8 deals in the NHL. It's just hard. Everyone's up against it.
You just hope he's all right and gets back and can be an asset you can move. I don't know. It sounds terrible, but it's kind of the truth.
And until then, Rhett, top 4, Denis Gilbert.
He was good last night.
He was very good.
Coming down on him 1-on-1, no problem.
Bobby Germany had a tweet. It was career high 20 minutes and 26 seconds. Elevated into a top 4 role, first minute of the game, basically. Physicality, lays out Drouin in the crease. I mean, he's not a top 4 NHL defenseman, but that's a really good night at the office for a guy that was watching the press box a couple of games ago. Like, I really like this guy since he arrived last year. He plays with edge. You don't have Zadorov. You don't mind a little bit of nasty. He doesn't seem to be as gaff prone as Osterley. Solovyov's bigger and has some physicality, but like, very impressed with what Gilbert did in a tough spot against a team full of superstars.
I watched him skate end of the year, just conditioning skates and skills and stuff in the spring when he was back here in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. He's very talented. Like, he's a good skater. Like, he can move around the ice. So for a short time, I have no issues with this.
There's the Pike bomb right there. The 2 assists on top of the career high in minutes. +3 as well. That's a hell of a night. It also probably tells you they weren't using him a ton in the third because, it's tough to be plus anything when they scored 3 there. But no, he's a big part until you get Tanev back. And, we don't know anything about Oliver Shillington. There's lots of ice for him right now. If he's somehow ready to come back and play, I don't know that that's a short-term thing, but
no.
When you look at 2 defensemen under contract for next year, period.
That's scary, but it's reassuring.
To me, it's like, get Gilbert on a 2-year, $2.2 million, like, sign it today. Like, extend this guy. He can play 6-7 for sure, and maybe there's a little more there. And he's something you don't have. Who else is going to drop the mitts and scrap on the back end?
Don't know who's going to scrap, and I don't think you're buying him or paying him just to scrap because he does.
No, he can move.
Played well enough to chew up some minutes, but I just think as a multi-purpose defenseman, I don't know where you're going to get better, right? Like, you've got 2 guys coming back.
It's a top pair. I like Anderson and Weegar. They're good players, but you're missing a second pair, and that's crucial.
Yeah, and if he's your second pair, that's still scary, but he's still better than probably some, right? Like,
yeah. So now here's the theory, and we're going way down the hypothetical train here, way down the track. Let's say Tanev won't be ready post deadline, and you can get a shitty deal where a team's like, yeah, we'll give you a conditional third, and if he plays 10 playoff games, we'll make it a second. Would you think about signing him to a 2-year, $4 million a year, and maybe you have intel that says we could get Tanev and Shillington back as a second pair? That'd be a hell of a way to replace the departure of Hanifin if you still could go Weegar, Anderson, Shillington, Tanev. And again, 2 heavy ifs there. 3 even. Signing a guy, injury, Shillington. Like we're making a hell of a lot of assumptions, but this doesn't have to be a bad blue line next year, I guess is my point.
So you're talking $4 million for Tanev?
He's worth 4 now. It's just the term's going to get you at some point. He's not.
I know. I'm just confirming that's the number you're throwing out.
Well, he's making 4.5 now, and
I'm not paying him. I don't.
I do it on a 1 year. He's not going to sign a 1 year. I get that, unless he's really hurt. But yeah, hypothetical though.
I'd sign him on a 3-year for $2 million, but he's not. You know what I mean? Like,
he's not.
It goes back to, again, for me, I'm better off finding out what kids can play.
Yep. And Solovyov's been one of those. Like, I don't know anyone mentioned his name in the system before we got into the regular season.
Never heard of the guy.
Shit, this is Big Red, 7th rounder in 2020. He's already here. You're supposed to be like fighting in the East Coast League if you're even signed. Never mind NHL already. First kid to play from that round of the draft. That's and he's big and he's got some nasty about him. He had a cross-checking penalty. It's kind of like Diet Zadorov.
But just to answer your question, I'm not bringing Tanev back. I just can't.
The only way I could justify it is if the injury is something where he's going to walk into free agency this summer and there's not a lot of value for him because people are going to say, we don't know what he can do. And it's like, well, he's already here, 1 or 2 years, low money, but you're right. It's very improbable.
I just think even if you can't move him, you can sign him to bring him back. What's stopping him from being injured half the game?
Oh, it's the same thing next year. And then you're like, can we swap him at this deadline? He's hurt again. I mean, I love the player. There's not enough like him. He's certainly a dying breed, the type of player that plays like that. But the downside is like you're putting your body in front of 95-mile-an-hour clappers every night.
Things break down. Like
yeah, when you're in the line of fire like he is, you're getting hurt. Again, not if, but when. Okay, so we'll get to tonight's game in a moment, but first, very, very excited to see this happen last night. Now, we talked about the injury to Tanev, and I don't cheer for injuries. I was not happy about seeing Tanev go down, and I'm not happy about this guy getting hurt, but I'm not really worried about him being hurt. Something happened to him, but this guy's so tough, I really don't think that he's hurt. So for Finning Cat, we will do I Dig It, which I don't know if this sounds mean or not, but I mean, it
does. I know what you're going.
Does it sound mean? I mean, I just think
I'm fine with it because I dig it.
Good. Okay. Well, that's the name of the segment. You dig it.
Be mean.
Oh, mean. That's not mean. I just have to find this email from
Jack. That guy could be mean.
Okay, here it is. So for Finning Cat, our friends at Finning Cat, we do I Dig It. Improve productivity and efficiency with equipment you can rely on. Go to finning.com and check out their extensive inventory of new, used, and rental equipment. Find the right solution to meet your unique needs. Need a part? It's never been easier with Finning Cat's online service. Invest in the future of your business. Check out the latest at finning.com. Jack has some video. Sound up. Silence in the classroom.
Michael Kessel rings clear, goes off the stick of Brett Murray. Look at the replay. The puck hits Rob Ray in the face. And he just continues on because he's Rob Ray.
Why I say I'm just glad it's him. Imagine if that was someone much prettier that hadn't taken blows and fists to the head for as many years as he did. I feel like if anyone can deal with this threat, it's Rob Ray. Is that one of those little things you ram up your schnoz? He's got it in that welt in his forehead.
He never used to bleed, this guy. Like, he'd take 100 and they'd never bleed. Now he's bleeding all over the place. Come on, Razor.
is
Getting old.
awesome. Jack, I just sent you a photo if you want to take a peek. You, of course, share a fence with Robert Ray, your buddy, your old teammate. When did you hear about this, and what more do you know?
Oh, well, our kids play together, so the team chat absolutely blew up last night with pictures and comments and observations and concerns for poor Robert Ray. Yeah. They wanted them to leave, and he's like, "Get out of here! Just glue it or whatever, and put that."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, I'll put that in there, but it'll sting." And he's like, "How's it feel?" It's like, "It's fine. Just do it." And I'm the same way. When you've had stitches, if they give you the freezing, wherever you're getting stitched, it swells up, and the needle is worse than the stitches. So of course they tried to use freezing on him, and he's like, "No, just stitch it up. Let's go."
And so, what are you looking at here? Tell us what you're looking at.
Well, we had to take old Patty Coletta out for breakfast this morning and read him the riot act about how he's operating the Junior Sabres organization. And we're just, you text me, "Hey, can you get Razor on?" And I'm like, this guy, poor fella, look at him.
Can we zoom in? Is that possible? Because it looks like he has been stitched up here.
Oh yeah, he's got 6 in
the
there.
Zipper going.
6 or 7 for sure.
6 or 7, right between the eyes. Goodness, it's wild how many times
right
a human
between
will
the
get
eyes.
hurt right around the eyes and never in the eye. Like, how lucky are humans? I don't know what it is. It's you've nicely got the orbital bones to protect a bit, but like that is right between your eyes. Jeez, looks like a sniper, like red glow. Like, jeez. Oh man. And he's doing okay. Is he on painkillers? Rob probably is just like, "I'm back, baby. I am back."
He's fine. If he's going to get hit anywhere, that's the place for him to get hit.
He and Ty Domi had, I think, some of the greatest ability to just take blows to the head. Like, they just must have like triple thickness craniums or something. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive for sure.
Yeah. I think
there you go.
Yeah, zoomed in. There it is. Oh yeah. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, at least 6 or 7. Is he gonna get a black eye? Looks like he's gonna be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's used to it.
And so, where are they? You said he's heading out on the road. You know,
I actually think they're basically the Sabres are kind of following what Calgary is doing. They go to Colorado and Vegas and some others.
So they're out west.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. So that is I Dig It from Finning Cat. A reminder, check out the latest at finning.com, whether that is new inventory, used or rental equipment, also parts. It's all there, finning.com. Thank you to our pals at Finning, and thanks to Rob Ray for being Rob Ray. God, you love that, huh?
I kind of do. I'll tell you what, all the parents were very excited.
Well, and I think the kids know who Rob Ray is, but I think the more you see and interact around Rob Ray and maybe go down that YouTube rabbit hole, like, they don't make them like Rob Ray anymore.
No. Rob Ray's
there isn't a kid on the team that's the next Rob Ray, safe to say.
What a thing to aspire to. Ugh.
I mean, hell of a career. Like, when are you going to get that jersey up to the rafters? You've been talking about this for years. You've got to start bullying people at the alumni there, getting Pagula's ear. It's absolutely insane that it's not up there.
It kind of is. He's one of the most recognizable, if not the most recognizable Sabre. Top 5 for sure of all time.
Yes, and he's a Buffalonian through and through. Like, that guy lives there. He lives it. He is the city. He's on the broadcast. It wasn't like a hit and run like Pavel Bure in Vancouver. Like, the guy breathes, lives, eats, sleeps Buffalo. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's do DoorDash right now as we look at what's on the menu for tonight. A couple of big games for Alberta clubs for very different reasons. DoorDash, hey, look, flowers, you want to do that? You need paper plates, you need red Solo cups, you need food, you need spatula, whatever it is, you can do it with DoorDash. It isn't just food. You can also do multiple stops in one delivery, saving you delivery charges. And right now, for our listeners, first-time DoorDashers will be able to save 25% on their first order of over $15 and free delivery. Download the app, put in the promo code Nation25, and you're on your way with DoorDash. Rhett, tonight, Calgary and Vegas. We'll talk about the game in a moment. Also, we have, for the first time in the NHL, Connor v. Connor. Not Zeri. Bedard, McDavid.
Okay, I was going to say, I feel like there's been Connors before. Connor Sheary?
There's a lot of Connors. Yeah, that's Connor Ingram. We're talking about two superstars, 2 first overall picks, 2 Western, well, I guess it's not Western Canadian ones, 2 CHL superstars, 2 Canadian World Junior stars. That'll be a fun one. So I want you to pick a dish or have a take on either of these games tonight. Calgary at Vegas, a late start at 8. Chicago at Edmonton, also a late start at 8. They really want to highlight these 2 superstars on the Eastern seaboard. So 10 p.m. start.
Yeah, get it out there for everybody to be able to watch and take in.
Now they're doing a doubleheader, so I don't want to crap on them for that. And it is nice to have a game out east and then go out west for something. But there'd be some good hockey to watch tonight with the 2 Alberta clubs. I don't hold up much hope for Chicago being competitive, but it is something always neat. Like even when it was like Crosby would come out west to play McDavid, or when you know back in the early 90s when Lemieux and the Penguins would come out. Like it's just sometimes these guys elevate their games when they play each other.
I was just gonna say, I almost feel bad for Bedard.
Yeah,
because if Connor McDavid decides that, I'm gonna go and show the kid how it really needs to be done, there's not a lot the Blackhawks are gonna do to stop him.
You don't need to go head to head if you're either coach.
Well, the other thing is there's Connor Bedard, 18.
Oh God, yeah. This isn't who's better right now. This is more of a big stage. Let's just sit back.
But even at Connor Bedard's best, I don't know because for me, I don't know there's better than McDavid ever.
He had more points than Junior, believe it or not. Like
I don't
Junior
care.
Player, as wild as that is.
Piss off, Junior.
No, but it's like you would have said that's impossible. How could he have been?
But I'm saying, played against Gretzky, played against Lemieux. Everyone's unique. I've always said, but you felt like you could have a game plan against those 2 and maybe have a token of a chance of success. I don't know how to play McDavid and have success.
I don't either. One of the things I've been impressed with by Bedard is his ability to get pucks to net. Rookies don't put the puck on net with the proficiency that he has. It's really incredible that he's up against NHL defensemen with really, really meager line mates all the time, and he's still creating scoring chances. The way he shoots the puck, I don't know that I've seen many do it. It's almost like he has it out, he pulls it right beside his foot and uses the flex of the blade to like slingshot this thing coming right beside him. It's like a different angle the way he shoots it. Anyway, nerdy.
Pass it.
He's a very good shooter. He pass the puck, eh? Calgary Vegas tonight as we continue what's on the menu. What are the Flames saying to each other? Because I think we can sit back and say, you know what, let's be honest, they're not good enough. But in that room, you got to believe, and you could probably take a lot of positives, but that probably stung a lot last night.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, right?
Well, they're looking for a win in Vegas. What are they? What are the conversations like from last night to tonight? It's a lot of travel. It's not a lot of sleep. You know, there's no Tanev tonight.
You know exactly what the quote is.
Okay.
Yesterday's over, right? Like
one shift at a time, blah, blah, blah.
One shift at a time. We're taking it a game at a time, and we're going to worry about tonight and yesterday's over, right? Like, can't live in the past, whatever stupid quote you want to use.
Yeah.
That's what they're using. They'll be bagged, though.
Yeah. Well, I never mind Minnesota. That'll be their 3rd and 4 with more heinous travel. A lot of guys will say it's the 3rd and 4 more than the back-to-back, but if this thing's close in the 3rd, they're going to be hanging on with their fingernails.
They're working. I think they'll show up and compete. That's the thing for me. I had no issues piling on at the start of the year when they showed up and didn't bother to play hockey and just were out there. They're working. Yeah, I'll give them credit. They're showing up. They're trying. They're just, and they might have another good effort tonight.
Yeah,
and play well.
Might give them
and
0
still
points.
not win.
Yeah. That was the whole thing when we started the gauntlet run. It was like you could play really well and have a great game and lose and get no points. And they've done that a lot in here. There's been a couple stinkers, but generally speaking, to your point, the work ethic's good. Guys are sticking up for each other. It doesn't look like people that have quit on a coach, and it did for the first 10. And so if we're going to, be hard on Nazem Kadri in the first 10 games of the year when it didn't look good, and he wasn't alone, it was most of the Flames didn't look good. I think it's time to give 91 his flowers. He's been excellent since they got Zary in there, and even without Zary last night on a different line, Nazem was superb. Scores the first goal, sets up the second, draws a penalty, like full pest. Like that was vintage Nazem Kadri. That's the guy that won the cup 2 years ago that you went and signed. And to be fair, that's a guy that any contender would be like, he could help us win.
Are we
give him credit? It was the easy thing to do is not to fight through this and stick with the process. And in a hockey market, when you're playing as badly as he was for the first, like this has been a really nice run.
Can we get to that point? Like, is he an asset that, like, if they're going to lose and they're going to be slowly, I think it's an absolute mountain to climb for this team to get into the playoffs.
I agree.
Maybe it's possible. I don't agree.
They've won 11 out of 28 games.
Yeah. So, but with all that, so when they start selling, where does it end? Like at the start of the year, Kadri was immovable.
Yeah. There were 6 years left at $7 million, and the last third of the season was
10 games in. He was even worse. It was like, oh my God, this is now, however many 18 games later.
This is the guy that went to the All-Star game last year.
Yes.
This is a guy that is bothering other teams, going to the net, drawing penalties. He's, I think, near a point per game over his last 15 games. Like, this is a guy that a contender would look at, Rhett, and say, he could help us. He's better than our second line.
Or is he a guy that you want around your kids? And
I'm not convinced he's that guy. I don't think he's bad around the kids, but I don't think it's like Nazem will show everyone how to play the right way. It's like, no, not that. Nazem's a great secondary piece, and that's what you'd be selling to a contender. Like Colorado has Ryan Johansson on their second line.
So if you are selling, are you selling for a return or are you selling as a salary dump?
I think if he continues to play this way, you could actually get a return, but you'd probably have to retain salary. And the team into him would have to be a team where it's a unique set of circumstances where it's like, okay, we've got a 2-3 year window and it's already going to be bad. So what the hell is another bad contract if we can max out this 2 to 3 year window? I don't know that there's a team that screams that to me. Maybe it's the Rangers, but I don't know that the Rangers need a center. Like who is at the end of their competitive window, but still very good? Tampa, maybe, sure, but they sort of go Stamkos point down the middle. Like that's not a huge need there. I don't think it's impossible. And some guys age really well. Like he's 33. Can he be? Can he have the Pavelski aging curve? I mean, that's probably the best one. But even if he's diet
back
Pavelski,
to Toronto,
they don't need a center. I mean, maybe they do. What's going on with Nylander? But it's he. I can just see contenders looking at him and saying that guy would help us. And if that's the case, now you can start working on all the other stuff: money, retention, return. That wasn't a move you could make this summer, though, in my opinion. It's good to see.
It's good to see. That's a much better issue to have than, oh my God, 6 more years of this garbage.
Yeah, and from our chairs, selfishly, it's not fun to just pile on humans that want to do well, and it's great to see the resurrection. I don't think Nazem's a bad guy, but there were some ugly moments down the stretch last year, and I think it's nice to counterweigh the ugly from last year. Geez, like he's been really good here in some games where they're down. It's like he's leading the charge. He's not quitting. Love it. Okay. Hearing loss clinic. Got to tell you, that 5th location somewhere in the new year. Rhodesy was by the other day. We've got all kinds of great gear to give away, and I think we're going to tie it into the Top Shelf Elf, where we've got a donation link on the page for closer to home. So if you're like, geez, I don't have $600 to win this package that I really want, but I do have 20 or I've got $40. I want to donate it to Closer to Home because I'm a big supporter of the charity. Like, I think it's great that we're doing it. Throw some money there. We're going to start giving some prizes away to people that donate money. So Rhodesy came by. He's got 2 team-signed CFL balls. We've got 2 player jerseys signed from the Stamps. And ditto the Flames. We got, I believe, a signed Lindholm and a signed Huberdeau. So big thank you and big shout out to Rhodesy for dropping off some merch for us, some signed gear. And we will explain on the air in the coming days before the end of the week how you can get your chance. But I do have the sense that it's going to be financial donations to Closer to Home as part of our Christmas charity. A reminder, Hearing Loss Clinic's always been about making a positive difference in the lives of their clients. You can learn more at hearingloss.ca. It's not just about hearing or impairment. It's about empowering everyone to be socially active, more connected with loved ones, and confident in all aspects of your life. If you're hearing better, life's just a lot easier. They're locally owned and operated, award-winning healthcare, hearing healthcare, and client-centered approach. Also, custom ear protection, musician molds. If you're ripping electric guitar on stage, right, you're gonna need some of those. And it's for all ages, not just people in the older demographic. In fact, even kids. Hearing loss is not it's not choosy. It's anyone, right? And if you can help people when they're young, all kinds of issues will be avoided. There's lots of health risks that are linked to untreated hearing loss. For more information, on Twitter at The Hearing Loss and at Instagram, The Hearing Loss Clinic. 4 locations in Calgary and a bunch in BC, Cranbrook, Creston, Golden, and Invermere. Boomcat's back tomorrow, by the way. I think he had the red eye last night.
Oof.
The old red eye bus from Prince Albert.
Yeah. Get an extra seat. Get through it. That's all you got to do.
That's a move, hey? The Greyhound extra seat.
Oh, yeah. Want some slob sitting beside you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very good. We did tease you with that gauntlet run. I feel like we should probably just get into it with the Pinder Report for Village Honda. I'm heading up to Village tomorrow. I'm going to say hi to Anthony for you. Going to check out some of the pre-owned inventory, up to nearly 100 units on site, over 400 in their dealer group. Check them out in the Northwest Auto Mall. That is Village Honda. We're at villagehonda.com. We start with a little afterburner. Last night, Cammie and I were here in studio watching what was a pretty epic comeback from the Avs last night. They ran into a team that probably has 5 or 6 players that's better than their best player. If you're honest with yourself, this team played really well tonight, and they had players make great plays, and there wasn't a lot of guys that left a lot out there. Boy, if that guy was just better, they would have won. They were just outclassed. You can play to your potential and lose. And I didn't think the Flames were far from that tonight. Tip your cap. The other guys drive nice cars too. And in this team, for example, they drive even nicer cars than you have.
I mean, 3 huge guys, all who were picked in the top 10, and McKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen, obviously. But you also saw some contributions from their depth. Thomas Tatar snapped a how many game goalless skid? I had to look up who Myers was. Elite prospects didn't even have him in the NHL yet. Yeah, first game in the NHL, first goal. And it doesn't happen without them. So it's not all the stars. They proved that this is what happens when you have finishers, but it took the whole team to get them there.
That's last night. Great work from Cammie, and there's more if you need to just vent about last night. But again, I think my comments echoed what you said. That wasn't a bad game for the Flames. You just didn't get 2 points.
It's fine. Move on.
How do you feel about Bedard? I would have called him one of your best Flames through 40, and I didn't think he had a chance on any of the 3 in the third. And yet people hated it.
Yeah, you give up 6, and you're like, oh, 6 is too many. But it's like, wow, I don't know what you're doing on them, right? Like,
there's not a lot of nights in this league where you could say the goalie played well and they allowed 6. And if you just look at a box score, you're going to be right 95% of the time if you say that goalie sucks when he allows 6. But last night, I think, was the outlier. Like, he makes a breakaway save.
The problem is
2 dazzling saves in the first.
He played good, but the problem is that he didn't get you the win.
No.
And I certainly don't blame him for the loss, but he needs to leave the rink feeling good about himself sometimes. And if you get the win, that is something. If you're trying to move them, teams are going to go, Christ, you went into Colorado and Flames got to win. on it, right? Like,
yeah, I was just going to ask you, if you were another GM and you watched last night, I mean, there's so many things you could be texting to. If you were a scout for your GM, like, oh my God, you should have seen the 2 saves back to back. My God, he's battling hard. And then it's like, yeah, well, he allowed 6. Like, I like that.
Yeah, he ain't no better than the other guys that we got are going to give up 6 against this team too, right? And I probably, if I watched him, I'd say, I got to see him again because I think he was decent, but not good enough where I need to make a move on him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I still think he's got to string a few more wins, to your point, and solid starts together. And then teams will say, okay, 2.2 for 1 more year. All right. But right now it's like, you can find a guy on waivers that's hot. Like, look at the guy that came in the 3rd last night. Prosvatov or whatever. Prosvatov. Like, he was great. Ice cold. Comes in. Doesn't allow anything in the 3rd. They win the game. He was great against them when they played 2 weeks ago. That guy's not making 2.2. And that's this type of guy that GMs are going to be saying this guy or Vladar. And it's like right now there's not a gap. He's in the same group as those guys.
Exactly.
They're good.
Yeah.
But he hasn't separated from the best goalie to cross waivers in the fall. Like, he's still in that neighborhood.
Yeah, you're not going to rush out and give up assets to bring him in at 2 point whatever it is.
2.2.
Yeah. So
gauntlet run. It's coming back to earth as we thought it might, Rhett. Here are the numbers. It's the 13 gamer on this graphic. We'll add 2 more because they got LA still before Christmas. And after a 3-1 start, they've now dropped 4 of 5. We sort of thought there might be a split in there somewhere between Carolina and Jersey, but this 3 games and 4 nights is absolutely murderous. If they can come up with 1 win in here, that would be
huge.
I mean, it would just be impressive. I mean, you wouldn't blame them for going 0-3. It's the last 2 Stanley Cup champions and a Minnesota team that had 103 points last year and is finally starting to look like themselves with a new coach. They manhandled you a week ago. You were shit against them.
Yes, you'd love to see him get a win, but you'd have to give me some pretty nice odds to pick a team that they're going to beat out of the next 2.
Yeah. Well, and then they come home for Tampa and Florida. Are you kidding me? Jesus. By the way, does Matthew Tkachuk still only have 4 goals this year? Have you been seeing this?
Oh, I have not. Nobody's bragging about his 100-point seasons.
And it's weird. This is a total tangent.
He's got a bad chest.
Talking about it, but
sternum.
Is that what it is?
He's got 5.
So he must have had one in the last couple nights. 5. I think like that's Hubie.
What are we talking about total points here? Do I have to look it up?
No, he's okay, but this is nowhere. It was weird. Like, he scored some monster goals last year in the playoffs. He also had 40, 50-minute stretches in games where he was just, no, not there. It was weird. I've never really seen anything like that. Like, he would have got a lot of Conn Smythe votes if they'd won. And yet there was a lot of games he scored big goals in where he wasn't that good. And you still love him, but it's an odd, slow start. I only thought about it because Florida's coming up on this next homestand. Should be fun. Next, let's go. So Tanev is out tonight. What does that mean for the roster? Well, they don't have an extra D, Rhett, because Osterley's going to have to come in. And so, okay, well, that's easy. We'll just call up another D. Where's Nick DeSimone? Let's get the Buffalo boys back together, right?
Yep.
Well, hang on. Not so easy. Their roster's full. So you either place Tanev onto IR to get another spot, and if he's just sort of day-to-day-ish, you don't do that.
I would anyway, because he don't need to rush back, in my opinion.
Well, I know you would. I just don't know that Huska probably likes having him in the top 4 instead of someone else. But I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't comfy with the timeline on Tanev yet. If it's a Coronado down, is it maybe time to get Walker Duehr down to the A? I don't see him as a threat to get claimed. And if he is, it's like, where does Walker Duehr end and Adam Klapka begin? Like,
that's just it. You have to be able to go, well, if we lose him, we lose him. He was, in a way, we loved him last year. It was energy, emotion. Haven't seen much out of him this year.
Yeah.
And if he has to go somewhere else to find ice time, well, maybe it's good for him. right?
He was never going to be a big scorer. He was always going to be an energy guy, and they've got lots of options. They've got a Pospisil that can play the right side of the fourth line now. So it's what he gave them last year, they've gotten from a bunch of guys this year. So we'll watch for roster moves today. We'll see what happens. Vegas lines up like this, Rhett. Boy, they've been just absolutely destroying the Flames in Vegas. It's been a much better season series or a lifetime series for the Flames in Vegas and Calgary for the Flames. Barbashev, Eichel, and Stone up top. That's a nice duo to work around. Hey, Eichel and Stone. Jeez. Second line, Howden, Stevenson.
What did they give up for Eichel?
Not
Tuck?
much. A
Krebs?
second. No. First Tuck and Krebs. Yeah. And Krebs was a
We still don't know what Krebs is totally.
toolsy and young, but
And
certainly
Tuck
not
is beat to piss.
You love him, though, and he's a Western
Great.
New York guy.
Really love him, but he is beat up. He's hurt a lot.
That probably is a deal both teams are okay with. It was time for Jack to go. I think both teams are probably happy with that. Third line, Paul Cotter. He's been big and good this year. Carlson and Amadio. He's the former King. And then I love this fourth line, Kolasar, Waugh, and Carrier. They run around and bang India. This is a team that forechecks very well. Very, very well. Now they're missing some bodies on the back end. You see Ben Hutton top pair. That's not where he usually plays. That's the Theodore slot. He's hurt. Alec Martinez, he's hurt. And Aiden Hill in net, he's hurt. So it'll be Logan Thompson or Yuri Patera in net. But even missing two very good defensemen in Martinez and Theodore and the goalie that won them the cup, Vegas still favored by a significant margin here tonight against the Flames group. No surprise. Where do you think the Flames are in the inverse standings? Points percentage.
I
If
think
the season ended today and there was no draft lottery, where do they pick?
8.
It's better or worse, depending how you look at it. There's your look at the everyone's favorite, the old inverse standings there. I've circled the two teams that are actually have better points percentage than the Flames, so you can ignore them. Flames have picked 6th overall, Red. If the draft was tomorrow and nobody moved for the lottery.
That's pretty good.
You could get some players at 6. I believe you got Matthew Tkachuk at 6. Am I right?
I think
5
so,
or 6.
yeah.
Because it was like Yo Levy went to Vancouver. Lol. Playarvi went to Edmonton. Lol. Yeah. That's and again, to your point, they're working hard. It's not a toxic environment for kids to come into. Some of the guys that are trade assets have been playing well. Hannafin. We had some suspensions handed out yesterday. Have you seen the numbers on the suspensions, by the way? I don't want you to Google. I want you to guess. We talked about the Perron cross-check to the head and the Goodbranson vigilante justice.
So guess how many games they got?
Yeah, you were saying yesterday you thought it'd be a game or two for Goodbranson, I believe.
Yeah.
And you thought, and we all sort of agreed it would be more for Perron.
Perron 5.
Okay.
And 2 for Goodbranson.
6 and 1.
Okay.
That's a heavy suspension for Perron. And again, idiotic play that you can just never make in hockey.
And oh my, Frank felt like it was, and I'm like, I was more along the lines with you. It's like as soon as you use your stick,
it's a weapon.
It changes everything. Like if he goes over and Perron goes over and drills up, I forget the guy's name that he went after, but throws a punch at him.
Yeah.
And even if it's a sucker punch, it's not going to be as much as a cross check to the face.
Yeah. And I think Frank's view was like, if you'd never watched hockey and you came in and saw those two events, you'd be like, those are both awful. But in the hockey world, you can, if a guy turtles, they're going to let you throttle him. Like, that's just how it goes. He got one game. It's not surprising. That's the way, I bet the best way to frame it. It's kind of what we expected. And to Frank's point yesterday, is the Perron thing 6 times worse than the Goodbranson thing? No, but the suspension is.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I think you're crazy with this Eichel trade. I don't think Buffalo's happy with it.
You were loving Tuck.
I love Tuck as a player, but Tuck is using, like, Tuck is beat up. Like, everything's falling apart.
It's the first time I've heard you say he's beat up. You're loving the player a month ago. Like,
No,
he's having a rough year with injuries. Sure, I can.
you're talking about last year when I was loving him because he hardly
Yes.
plays anymore. He's beat up, man.
Well, and what is Krebs? I don't know.
Krebs is nothing. I'm just looking at his stats. He ain't doing shit, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like
And then
I
did they
think
get a
that
first
trade.
with that as well, or was it a second? With
It was a
Krebs?
first. No, it was a first, and I don't know what that kid's up to yet. But
Yeah, and so obviously the best piece involved is Eichel, but you talked about it. It was toxic. They had to get him the hell out of there.
they did. I'm just saying we could have had him.
Yeah, well,
Matthew Cataford.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a great name for a first rounder. I don't know.
Playing
Let's move
in
along. We have
playing in
finished
Halifax. What a
Finish
lucky
drama. Finish drama. Teammates. You ever have to take a swipe at one of your teammates' dads?
day. Not that I recall.
Yeah, well, that happened in Colorado last night after that comeback win. Mikko Rantanen was a horse, and the horse didn't like one of his teammates' dads. Check this out.
Feels good, and there's actually one thing where I got a lot of extra energy. One of our Finnish NHL players' dad was talking shit about me in the media that I didn't train last summer like I used to do, and he was just making things up. So I think that was for him. If you talk shit, it's gonna come back at you. So.
And Prosvetov comes in.
I love the follow-up and Prosvetov comes in like, no. He just absolutely MF'd someone's dad. Stay with that.
Yeah, how do you not stay on topic there as the reporter? Like you're throwing some gold right there, and you're moving on to.
So that nothing in there is too crazy in the sense you're like, okay, Finnish player, and then you realize it's Arturi Lekkonen's dad. That's his teammate. Now Lekkonen's hurt right now. I think he got dinged up in the first month of the year after a really good start. Had a hat trick in the first couple of weeks, but those are teammates. And now one of his teammates' dad is a Finnish hockey broadcaster and was giving it to Rantanen. Like, I don't wonder if now's not I think it'd be a good time to call Joe Sakic and company and say, hey, you want to get Lekkonen out of there? We got a great offer for him. I don't know that you want to necessarily coexist. Sometimes it's like, yeah, his dad's an asshat, but other times it's like, get it all out of here. Don't let that fester.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what the reality of it is, right? Maybe the old man is an old booze can and runs his mouth. Like, who knows? Maybe his kid's like, oh God.
Sorry about my dad again.
Yeah, right? Like, who knows?
Hey man, my dad said something really stupid. Just you're gonna hear it. People on social
There's
media,
a lot of drinking. It's
I had
dark in Finland.
Nothing
It's
to
very
do
dark.
with this. He was hammering schnapps till 5 a.m.
Loves herring.
He was convinced
Can't be
that
trusted.
my uncle was an agent giving him scoops. It was quite a scene. And not just nothing to do with me.
Please don't hold me responsible.
Rantanen, I'd take Rantanen.
Yeah, if they want to get rid of Connie, get Rantanen.
What is he, like 6'4", 50 goals, and like
Yeah,
the third or
whatever.
fourth
Give 'em what
best
they want.
player? Jesus. Oh, they good. That was my preseason pick for the Cup. I feel not worried about that pick.
It's
Not that
certainly
that's a
not a
bold
bad
thing.
pick.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's bold.
It isn't bold at all. They would be one of your top 4 teams by odds. It would be like your Vegas, your Colorado, Edmonton, Dallas, Tampa, Florida, Boston, the usual suspects, Rangers, Leafs. Fuck, they're good. We'll keep moving tonight. Lots of games. Oh, look at that. We talked about the Connor v. Connor. We talked about the Flames second half of a back-to-back. Also of note, Tampa is coming out west through Calgary later. They're in Vancouver tonight. Ditto for the Panteros. They're in Seattle.
That big Philly, Nashville.
Oh yeah, it's orange against yellow. That's a big one there.
And San Jose, who must watch, must not miss.
They've been not boring. I don't know if you're tongue in cheek or not.
I'm a bit tongue in cheek. They have had some exciting wins. If you can stay up late enough to watch a last place team,
They're not even last anymore. That's
whatever.
Where are the inverse standings again? I feel like Chicago's got to be dead last. They might have even caught Columbus by now. Anyway, that's your slate tonight. So I told you yesterday that Shohei Ohtani retired. I might have fabricated something. I
What?
didn't want it to go crazy on the internet. He actually signed with the Dodgers, small market team in a rough part of LA. Don't worry about it. So much so, they're only going to pay him $2 million a year in salary.
Cheap as chips.
I mean, decent money for, if you're Dennis Gilbert.
Wow, decent money if you're a guy that's thinking about retiring like he is, this Ohtani is. So,
That's right. I was going to retire, but they offered me $2 million a year. Get this. He makes about 50 M's a year with endorsements. He's obviously a megastar back in Japan, like huge billboards, endorsing products, never mind in the States. He's basically Babe Ruth. This is one of the greatest athletes we'll watch in our lives. And the Dodgers and Ohtani, apparently his idea, they defer almost all the money. Now, this is genius in so many ways, Rhett. So if you're Ohtani, what does that mean they're going to be able to do when you're there?
Win.
Spend more money on other guys. What else does it mean when you're not there at the end? You're not paying California taxes.
Oh, yeah. Great idea.
Is that not unbelievable? So he can go settle in Vegas or Florida or Texas. I don't know how it would work internationally.
Tokyo.
And then you find out, look at this. Mookie Betts has got it too. He's got tons of money coming in between 2040 and 2044. So here's the deal. In 2043, that's in 20 years, the Dodgers will be paying $79 million to these two.
You got to have a lot of money to be willing to defer $40 million a year.
Oh, man. And I'm just thinking, like, if you're the Dodgers and you've now got Freeman, Betts, Ohtani, like, go hang some banners. Sell this team in 6-7 years for like $5 billion.
Oh, yeah.
Let somebody else deal with all that deferred money. Oh man. Anyway, good luck to that
just
small market team.
Just remember,
part of LA.
Somebody's writing those checks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, like again, like with Shaq. Was it Shaq that said it? Like somebody's writing my check, like giving me that money.
Yeah.
So think about how much money the guy writing the check has. Sorry, that's where the real dough is.
Yeah, yeah. The players are they're almost billionaires. The owners are all billionaires. He's not M's. Let's go to football. Bad news for the Southern California Chargers, or great news, right? If you're thinking about it, Herbert done for the year, season-ending surgery, fractured right index finger. Which one's your index? What do we do here?
I don't know, but why come there's always like, if I went and break my finger, they're not doing surgery on it. They're going to say, here's a splint.
Yeah, you're not a quarterback in the NFL. And it's not.
I could be if I had a different shoulder.
It's a pretty heavy F.
Okay, fine.
I mean, Jesus.
Surgery goes great. I think Herbert's a wonderful person.
And this is great news for the Chargers, kind of like what we're talking about with the Flames. They have 5 or 4 wins this year. 5, I think. They probably don't get any more. That's go get another O lineman to protect Herbert next year. Let's go. High pick. Let's go. Let's go. Here's the thing about the playoffs this year. Nobody's out of it. Well, actually, 2 teams are out of it. It's the Patriots and the Panthers have been eliminated. Nobody else has been eliminated, Rhett. What? 30 teams in the mix still? Holy shit. 24 teams either in a playoff spot or within 1 game.
What a duster league this is.
I mean, it is kind of, boy, there's some bad teams and bad records in playoff spots, but I'll tell you what, there are some years where you're at week 15 and there is meaningless football. There's a lot on the line still. It'll make for some good Sundays, I promise you, and Saturdays. Jack, is that this week? Jack loves this.
Yes, 3 games this Saturday.
3 games this Saturday.
Oh, I like the Saturday games too. Catching a nap.
Yeah.
Hungover. Oh, what's this? Perfect.
Well, hello there. I thought you'd like this because you were telling us before the season started. The thing for the Bills is that Josh Allen's single, and he's got that single guy energy. That's what's going to carry that. Look at this. Wow. Big win over the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
That's Sean sending that in, thinking you'd like that. Thanks for the submission, Sean.
Is he still single? I don't know.
Hey, ask the shoveler. She seems to know what's going on in Buffalo gossip, eh?
Yeah, she knows quarterback.
There you go. 50. Next item. You might be a little longer in the tooth And if he had a new shoulder, maybe you could, you know who's old but still slinging it? Joe Flacco.
Hey, Joe.
Get this. And this one just destroys our boy Jack. The last 2 weeks, he's had 2 games where he's gone 250 in passing and 2 touchdowns. The Steelers haven't had one of those games from anyone since Big Ben retired.
God.
Oh.
Just go
Jack.
get Black Attack.
Why didn't they get Flacco?
How is that even possible?
How
'Cause
do
your
you
team
go
is shit.
like 2 seasons?
250 yards and 2 touchdowns.
We're not talking about a 4 touchdown game. We're not talking about 400 yards of passing. We're talking about 250 and 2. That is like a
Standard.
bad game for a star quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Josh Allen does that every game.
Oh God, he'd be upset if it was 250 and 2.
If Josh Allen had 250 and 2, they would be
Trade
talking
him.
about he managed the
Draft
game.
quarterback.
They had the win, and they were just trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
manage the game. They didn't want to.
Oh,
It's okay,
Pathetic.
Jack. It's okay,
Wild.
Jack. It's good to have things to make us happy.
finally, you want to be happy. I missed this because I was curling and watching hockey last night feverishly. Jack was all about this, this DeVito that's playing quarterback with the Giants. Took over for
Danny's boy?
Tyrod.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Danny's boy. I think his agent might be related to Danny. This
New Jersey.
is, look at the agent.
That's Tommy DeVito's agent.
Like,
As a guy who had a
is that guy
Italian
right
grandpa
off
from
the set of The
Brooklyn, I get it.
Sopranos?
That's a
What are you
handsome
doing?
look right there. Tommy
That
DeVito
is wild.
under the bright lights of Monday Night Football trying to get the Giants their fifth
That's his
victory.
buddy.
Sean Nixon, family section, and his agent. This guy, the
Jeez.
agent may break the internet. What the heck's going on? Are they having kisses everywhere? Giants up 4.
They did beat the Green Bays last night, didn't they? Game-winning field goal late. 2 upsets on Monday Night Football, a couple overs. That's a vibe right there, Rhett. Not everyone can pull that off.
Well, that's your 15 minutes of fame or whatever, I guess. Give her.
That is true. I don't know that DeVito madness is going to last much longer.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a short-lived thing. If it's not, something sad is happening.
Let's go to golf. John Rahm went to live. We heard that around 600 million. That's bad news, except it's great news. If your name is Mackenzie Hughes, the Canadian who had a great season. He was 51st in the rankings, top 50 get in all signature events. He got bumped up one. So props to the
Beauty.
Canuck. Yeah. Number 50 now. That's great. Good. We'll see him in all the big
Do
tournaments.
something
Loves
with it now.
And a pal of the show, our boy Jared Dutois from from right around Cranbrook, Kimberley, and Calgary, his home as well. He's through the second round of qualifying of Q School for the PGA Tour. They're into final qualifying, and he's got Sean Burke on his bag, who carried for him back in 2016 when he was one shot off the lead through 54 holes at the Canadian Open as an amateur. Jerry, that's the nickname for Jared, apparently, was the final group as an amateur that week. So good luck to our boy. Big fan of the show. Love Dutois. Big Flames fan. Go get him, kid.
We're talking
Thanks,
about
Red.
Sean Burke, goaltender Sean Burke.
Can't be that Sean Burke. It's got to be a different Sean Burke.
Hmm.
Sean Burke, the goalie guy's got to be busy. He can't be just caddying right now.
I think he'd be busy with him. I don't know.
Fantasy playoffs are set, Rhett. I know you're excited about this.
I am a little nervous, to be honest with you.
Guess who you're up against? Read it and
Yeah.
weep.
The clown show
Wah, wah, wah.
looks close.
So
It's really close.
we've got a nail biter, less than 0.2 points separated in projected scores. It is Jack against Rhett's Simply the Breast in round 1 of the fantasy playoffs. I finished dead last, and Dino is in there. It's been a miserable year. God damn it. Dean's the 2 seed. You guys are the 3 and the 6. We need a bet before Thursday. Can we agree that we need a bet by Thursday?
Definitely need a bet.
Agreed.
We can
Definitely.
work on the terms later, but we need
Now,
to
do
have
we
a
have
bet in
t-
place by Thursday.
Do you have anyone playing on Thursday? Because maybe we could even have till Friday.
Let me check.
Either
Check
way.
your roster, Rhett. Jack's going to check his roster.
Who plays Thursday?
It's the Chargers and Raiders. It's the much anticipated Aiden O'Connell, Easton Stick quarterback matchup.
I don't
Shoot me
have
in the
any
face.
players on Thursday.
I have the kicker.
Which,
Raiders.
okay.
You shouldn't play him. He's terrible.
Either way, I don't know that a kicker's going to swing this thing. Kickers kind of just, take your 5 to 12 points, move along. We need a deal. Boom will be back tomorrow. We'll run some ideas past him. Maybe some sort of shame event that we could live stream, something fun. Not 42 Nuggets, but something fun. Anyway, excited about that one. And let's hope Boom moves on so that the winner of you two schmucks will get him next round.
Can't wait to play Boom. It's going to be awesome.
You know what it'll be? Fun.
The clown. I gotta be.
You never played Junior A, so you never got to play in the MJHL, Manitoba Junior Hockey League. But you may have had some great play-by-play broadcasters that you've worked with over the years. Let's meet a new one from the MJ.
Joey Bielik has it. He turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football. And here comes Bazin. He's got some speed. Split the D. Oh, what's he going to do? He's shooting the roof, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Joey Bielik has it. He turns back. Looks like they're doing a little reverse that you might see in football. And here comes Bazin. He's got some speed. Split the D. Oh, what's he going to do? He's shooting the roof, Daddy. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at that.
Look at this. Look at that.
I think that's his calling card right there. Look at this. Look at that.
It's Boom Goes the Dynamite. That's your signature call now. You can't go away from it. That guy now's got, look at this. Look at that.
Every night.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Now, you and Rob were messing around. This might have been you because Rob still was getting stitches, but apparently it's getting cool in Buffalo. Some of the little sloughs are starting to freeze over. And, of course, you thought it'd be a great time to get the motorbike out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Brad, are you okay?
I lost my wind a little bit, but
I thought you were going to lose your bottom half.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Now, did that bike go under? Is it gone? Like, he gets hit so hard, everyone forgets about the bike. Is that gone? Oh, yeah, the bike's gone. Oh, gosh.
I'm not sure what the objective here is, but we thought we were drinking a little when we decided to do that.
Well, you guys were trying to win one of those Darwin Awards, weren't you?
You know what? Remember when I said years ago, I said we should have a contest who could make it out. It was a fat contest. So when the ice was just a little bit thick, tie a rope to you and you walk out on the lake and see how far you could get.
Great idea. I'm not going to get anyone in any trouble doing that. Great idea.
Well, this was just a different rendition of that.
This is the motorbike version. Next time you want to tie the rope around that motorbike so it's not in there.
Gotta get that back.
Last one, that was you. And I think it was probably Rob Ray, the Daredevil, that sort of egged you on to do it. Because this is him the other day when you guys were playing hoops. You were hooping and diving.
We like to stay active.
But the ball went in this pool. And Rob said, don't worry about it. And you're like, no, Rob, those are your new shoes. Don't do it. Don't do it, Rob. He says, don't worry. I'm not going to get the shoes wet. Watch this. He's handstand through the pond here. Now, what's he going to do the ball? Oh, hang on. Hold. Those are nice kicks. Brand new. Blue on the bottom. You gotta be kidding me. Get up. Oh!
What?
Come on! Oh, Rob's still just strong as an ox.
Incredibly powerful, man. Incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I just got the toe of the one shoe wet. Anyway, who won the basketball game? Was he tired out after that?
Oh, we were playing horse and I won.
Oh, boy. That, I believe, is all we have in the Pinder Report for Village Honda. We talked about the pre-owned inventory on site. They also have new inventory arriving daily, and all pricing is MSRP. Village Honda, villagehonda.com. Start your automotive adventures in the Northwest Auto Mall or on their website. It's your dealership for life.
For life.
You and Rob, I'm telling you.
We're busy.
Your own reality show.
We're busy. It's nice to have friends live close so you can get out like kids when you're growing up. Mom, I'm going to Jimmy's house. That's what we do.
So how many kids does he have? And are they like the exact same age or close? Like, how's it working for that? Because you obviously have kids on the same team, I'm guessing, if you're both coaching together.
Yep. Day apart, those boys' birthdays.
Really?
I remember phoning him and say I had a kid. And he goes, that's weird. I'm having one as we speak.
My best buddy called me, and I remember I was walking into the Saddle Dome. I was probably morning skate or a game or something. I was coming in the back entrance, and he says, buddy, I got huge news. He was living in London, England at the time. He says, I'm having a kid. I said, buddy, that's incredible. We've got 2 on the way. 10 days apart.
One up.
I'm not upstage you, but just one.
Yeah.
Weren't you trying?
I'll take all your bragging and I'll double it.
I want to tell you we're going to be at the Grey Eagle on Thursday. The Flames in the Wild means, well, we got to celebrate the Wild on a Thursday, spice it up a little. Wild on a Thursday can be a little dull. So to spice it up, we're going to the stage bar at the Grey Eagle. Boom and I are going to be there. They have the huge big screens that come down like a story high. Like they lift those up when the game's over. We get right up top, see the beautiful casino in the background. Come have a beer, say hello, grab some wings, whatever it is.
Do a couple high kicks.
Well, we've done some high kicks on that stage before, and we'll welcome you to come down and say hello as that'll be Boom's first post Prince Albert afterburner.
I hope he's recovered. Oof.
I mean, he's going to be in great spirits. You know how happy he gets when he gets up into the boreal forest. What kind of activities is he doing out there? Making snowmen,
climbing, and
ice fishing.
What's that one where you just go out into the wilderness with a compass and find your way around?
Yeah, orienteering. He loves that.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Loves
it could be
that
tough.
stuff.
Those boreal forests, not a lot of high ground to look around. You got to trust that compass, right? But it'll be fun on Thursday with, of course, lots of games on the big screen, including Calgary, Minnesota, and happy hour. Don't forget about that at the Grey Eagle as well. At Blaze Bar and Grill and the Stage Bar, 2 to 5 daily food and drink specials, all starting at $5. Not bad at all. Make the most of your day. Visit Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca for more. We're humming along today. I feel like this is.
Well, don't slow down now.
Yeah, like we're near the end. Like I don't have a lot else to say. Jack, do you have anything else to say? We got to do our Betway bets.
Don't you shit talk me, Jack. I'm going to take you down. Don't you worry about it. You're going.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I would like you each to just think about what we want in a bet between the two of you. I feel like it'd be great for our viewers, our fantastic viewers, without whom we have nothing. That they could be.
Does it have to come down to public humiliation? Or...
Yeah, I think there needs to be an element to that. Maybe it's like you have to come and do the show in a ballerina leotard, or maybe dressed up as a superhero, or I don't know. Like we've got to do something silly.
I'm gonna have to get my drinking cup out, and then my idea hat will come on, and then I'll have some
weird with you. The drinking cup and the thinking cap.
Mm-hmm.
They work nicely together.
Oh,
those two.
Well, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, well, that's where you get the ideas marinating, and you really start to stew over. You know what? Here's what we're doing. That's when it happens.
And the ideas aren't always good. Some of them are poor ideas, but you got to ponder them with some deep thought.
Someone in the comments is saying we need someone. The loser has to get the blue face paint makeup for the show. I don't mind that. Full blue face you'd be upset after losing. And I do think like the onus is on you two fellas to make sure we got a good one here, because Boom's a 2 seed. You guys are in the 3 versus 6.
So
your side of the bracket will face the winner. So if we get Boom through, then he has to basically accept terms on a pretty good bet. I don't want it to be lunch. I don't want someone to make popcorn at the studio.
Buy you a pizza.
And it doesn't need to be ultra aggressive. We don't need someone has to,
I think Jack and I should do what that fella did today in the Pinder Report with the motorbikes and shit. Like, I got a leg.
We don't need someone missing half their body. That guy nearly got cut in half.
All right. Well,
We'll come up with something. Maybe you'll have to wear some of the shoveler's clothes and Jack Livingston, his roommate's
That's not,
clothes.
we do that all the time. That's
Just not on the show. For the show,
sexy Sundays. That's
yeah, I know. But for the show, we don't do that often. I know you guys, when you have that party that you do every year, that's different.
Yeah, invite our friends over. That's kind of a.
I'm thinking I'll be decking Rhett's room out in Steelers gear after I win.
Oh.
I'll send you over a flag, a jersey, some hats.
Like,
yeah, I got one of those.
Oh, what's that pained face all about? Is
my
it too
uncle
late?
cheers for the Steelers too, and he's an idiot. Ugh.
All right. Well, we got a couple days. I just don't want this to stall out.
We won't. We'll come up with something.
Good. Okay. Let's
already said that's about it. So
little Betway.
19
plus Ontario only. Betway, bet the responsible way. We got another Calgary matchup on the road. Second game in as many nights. Second of 3 over the course of 4 nights, all on the road. Not easy travel. No Tanev tonight. Defending Stanley Cup champions. Here are my bets for tonight. Jonathan Marchessault always seems to burn the Flames. A anytime goal pays plus 155. And look, it might not be the Flames night, but if it is, look at the number for Nazem Kadri, 2 points. He did that last night, plus 375. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's a big number I like. You would have happily taken plus 375 last night, wouldn't you?
You're damn right I would.
Yeah. Eichel, a lot of minus money, not a lot of value there. I couldn't find the Connor Zary point. That was one I wanted to sprinkle on a little there, but he's been great. Him, Lindholm, Sharangovich, the new top line. We'll see the Kadri unit from the early last season reunited with Dubé and Mangiapane. And we'll see if there's a roster move. If they need to bring in another defenseman, like a D. Simone up from the minors, they may have to have a corresponding move, whether that's IR.
You never know with this damn Tanev guy. You thought he was faced reconstruction surgery, and he played the next game. So
true. That guy had broken jaw written all over him and didn't even miss a game. And right at practice. Goodness. Wild. What are you ordering tonight? We told you about DoorDash earlier. What's the move tonight?
Soup. It's a windy, blustery, looks like it could snowy, kind of that just, you need something warm and cozy. And there's a lot of games tonight. So you could settle in, you have a bowl, then you go, one more. And then the next game starts and you go, you know what? More soup.
Soup for the Connor Bowl and for the Flames and Golden Knights. I don't mind that. Soup is one of those weird food and beverages that are tied to weather. Margaritas are as well. If it's hot and you're in the sun, you want a margarita. If it's cold and shitty, you want soup. A lot of other foods, it's like, yeah, anytime's fine. But some of them, it's like, no. This is for today because of the weather.
That's true. And that's why I said soup for the Warner clan here in Below. It's definitely soup weather. And I don't think you can do it on DoorDash, but I'll order the soup off DoorDash and then I'll make my own grilled cheese because I don't like how those other buggers do it.
Yeah, you're good at grilled cheese. I could see that being you don't be light on the butter. Don't
light on the butter, please. Come on.
You know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
We're down to the final few packages left for Phoenix, Rhett. We're going to see you down there, Jan 11 to 13. Thursday is game day. We're getting together at the airport. We're flying down together. We got a bus to the hotel.
You said it. Margaritas.
Margaritas indeed. I will be in the chaotic zone of Mullet Arena. Less than 5,000 people. NHL hockey, apparently a sensational spectator experience. Flames and Coyotes on the 11th. 12th is your day to have some fun, whether that's Top Golf, whether that's real golf, whether that's a pool, whether that's a patio, or whether it's all the above. It's up to you. And got some ideas. We'll invite some pals to come do some stuff on Friday. And then Saturday, you're back home. Honey, I'm back home on Saturday. What are you talking about? I haven't even gone the whole weekend. Huh?
That'll be great. Getting home with a hangover, going to kids hockey. Ooh.
Love it. Why does Couch smell like the recycling depot? Yeah. I fell into a recycling. I don't know.
I was down there recycling earlier.
Just counting my empties. $12.99 a person based on double occupancy, flights, tickets, transportation, hotel. All you got to do is show up and have fun. It's all right there on nationgear.ca. We're almost out, fellas. The final few packages right there. Check it out, nationgear.ca. And if it's like, man, I don't know what to get dad. Your brother, cousin.
Some time away is always a lovely.
I mean, if you want to stay in Calgary for minus 20 something in January, you've got that option.
Yeah.
Or margaritas. It's brought to you by good pals at Alberta Blue Cross, protecting your memories with their travel insurance. You definitely, we love making memories. We love traveling around, seeing stuff, but let's make sure that protecting those a little with Alberta Blue Cross. Nothing better than sharing memories, except maybe making new ones. And with Alberta Blue Cross travel insurance, you're protecting your memories and more wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Alberta Blue Cross, celebrating life's memorable moments inspired by hockey. I was writing something down as I was working here, and it was just sort of like talking, listening to you, writing. I wrote the word hungover down. That's not what I meant to write down. So,
were you trying to write Hoover's lovely, delicious eggnog?
Oh, dude,
that's what I got.
Dude, how thick is it?
It's delicious.
Have you danced a little rum in there yet?
Not yet. Not yet. I will, but I can't be that good.
Little cinnamon on top. What do we do?
It's so good, but it's bad because you walk by the fridge and then you go in the fridge and then
a little more.
It's like hitting a bottle. No good.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Have you been thinking about online therapy? You absolutely should give it a go if you are at betterhelp.com/FlamesNation and get on your way to being your best self. Holidays are coming. That means lots of friends and family. Often for many of us, it also can mean a lot of stress. It can also mean challenges and things that you maybe could use some help with. If you're thinking about online therapy, here's a good reason why you can do it. You're not stuck in traffic. You're not doing it on someone else's timetable. It's entirely online, which means build it around your schedule. Do it from a place you're comfortable at in your house. And we're going to pair you with a therapist after doing a questionnaire. BetterHelp will find someone that's like, there's a good fit right there. So he's great at this and talking to people about that. And this guy's got these, boom, amazing. What is therapy all about? Well, it's helping you identify what the challenges are that you're facing and starting to build strategies and coping skills so you can become the best version of yourself. Yes, we're getting gifts for everyone else over the holidays, but it isn't the worst idea to give a little something to yourself, especially as this can be a stressful season. Whether it's that oversharey aunt or the boozy wants to fight about politics uncle, whatever it is, find those challenges, help build some strategies and coping skills. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/FlamesNation today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/FlamesNation. Rhett, have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Tonight, Pike and myself, Pike bomb. Here in the studios, we will be reacting to just a perfect start time for you. 8 p.m. puck drop. Aren't you jacked?
Ecstatic.
Oh, sorry. That was 8 Mountain Time. So that's 10.
Oh, that's kind of the shits for me then.
Well, let us know how those condensed highlights look.
Wednesday morning. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
Can't wait.